and memorabilia, honor of our ancestors. To the Mayans, the people of the land of the spiritual home of cocoa, Fernando Po, Tete Kwashi, Akosua, Oteniwa, Onyamanka, Damrifa Duye, as we enjoy Kamuda, may it be well with you wherever we are. It is because from henceforth, we know, yes, we know that he who brings cocoa brings wealth. He who brings cocoa brings wealth.
Amen.
And brings health.
Amen.
And brings well-being.
Amen.
And so on a day like this, when we have gathered, we will look into the stories of our people, but our cocoa, as we have come to know it today, have not always been our cocoa. We are the proud hunters who never knows the taste of our own game. But from henceforth, my people, I say, but from henceforth, I say, but from henceforth, when the story of our cocoa shall be told, it shall be told in a manner so bold. When the story of our cocoa shall be told, it shall be told in the manner so bold, because it will be told with the voice of gold. It will be said that our hard-working laborers shall be the first partakers of their own fruit. Then from house to house, we shall move, breaking pots of cocoa for our motherland. We shall break cocoa for our land, in our land, and by our land. Even so shall the story be told. For we know, as we say, that she who brings cocoa brings wealth.
Amen.
She who brings cocoa brings wealth.
Amen.
And health.
Amen.
And well-being.
Amen.
Therefore, in the spirit of unity, we will break this pod of cocoa and then pass it on, so that our brethren, our tribesmen and women, our children, and even their children's children shall come to know that indeed their ancestors left for them a humble legacy. Sempilem pilem sempi, sampa la la sempi, samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Samwagatile samamagalan each me trera ko garabashale na minji. Sempilem pilem sempi, sampa la la sempi, sempilem pilem sempi, sampa la la sempi. Samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Samwagatile samamagalan somewhere. Sempilem pilem sempi, sampa la la sempi. Sempilem pilem sempi, sampa la la sempi. Samwagatile each ko garabwa. Which way? This one is sweet, Yana. Okay, that one I'm calling for Java. Somebody's So what yeah, but man you in what get idea of so can you get to the other so let me blame in the year. Get idea cocoa. Get idea cocoa. Have you all tasted of cocoa?
Yes.
Have you tasted of our cocoa?
Yes.
Do you like our cocoa?
Yes.
Then together, let's sing the songs of joy. Sempi, sempi. Sempi, sempi.
Sempi.
Some wagatile, some mamagalan somewhere.
Some
Wagatile, some mamagalan somewhere. Sempi. Sampa la sempi. Some wagatile, some mamagalan somewhere. Sempi. Sampa la sempi. Some wagatile, some mamagalan somewhere. Some wagatile, some mamagalan somewhere. And so tomorrow, listen. And so tomorrow, tell the world that we gathered and spoke about our cocoa. It is because we now know that she who brings cocoa brings health.
Amen.
And wealth.
Amen.
And well-being.
Amen.
Even so shall the story be told. So when you shall hear the cocks crowing, Coco Liliko, it is we, the people of Ghana, the tribesmen and women from Africaniwa, saying a very big thank you and God bless our homeland Ghana in a time like this.
Thank you very much, Muintombo. If you have got your food item made of chocolate, this is the time to join in the celebration as they sing Sempilempile, Sempi. And as we take our individual bites of chocolate, hot chocolate, chocolate spread, whatever you've got, I just want to bring in a bit more explanation to some of the things that Muintombo has done today. Muintombo and the tribesmen and women you saw today joined us from the northern part of Ghana, where cocoa is not grown. Cocoa is typically grown in the southern part of Ghana. And so this is the place where you go. And when they wish to welcome you, they break the kola nut with you. They break the kola nut with you. And in utterance, they say, he who brings kola brings life. But in 2023, believe me, these are certainly interesting times to be alive. When we change our language, when we change our culture. And today, somewhere in the northern part of Ghana, where they will break kola nut to welcome you, they, for the first time, break cocoa. And they say, she who brings cocoa brings health and wealth and well-being. We have made history, and we are honored to have done so with you, surrounded by an incomparable number of unseen witnesses. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege to have gone on this journey with you. So wherever you are, if you have your food item made from cocoa, this is a time for you to take a bite, take a drink, take a sip, and join in the celebratory song, Sempilempile, Sempi. I do apologize. We seem to have gone a bit over time. We shall take reflections, and we will do well to bring our session to a close. At this point, Nanesi, I'll just ask what's going on in the chat? Who is saying what? How are they saying it? How are people feeling about this whole ceremony, breaking cocoa for the first time ever?
People are feeling, well, people are on a high and in amazement. A message from Ms. Nana says, Adele, you look lovely. Beautiful African print piece you have on. Happy Independence Day to Ghanaian tribesmen and women here. God bless you. She goes on to say, nice chant, stroke song, and any translation? Zembi, and Mutombo. I'm sorry, I'm crucifying this again. Thank you. Susan Murphy also says yes, you know, to it being a wonderful thing. Thanks, Runtombo. This is from Joanna and the whole group. And Jessica, to everyone, sends us many claps. Runtombo, no, it's Kofi Sell also sends claps and says, thank you, Runtombo. Raymond Atanga says, awesome, Runtombo, thank you. Isaiah lets us know that the cocoa breaking by Muntombo was such a beautiful one. Can't describe how I feel. I know people break cocoa with a cutlass. Using a rock was such mastery. Once again, happy Independence Day, Ghana. Joanna goes on to say, I'm eating some fig tree chocolates made by Bruce, who's on the call today. What are you all eating today? Bruce says, fantastic. I hope you enjoy. I'm eating a fig tree dark chocolate with an orange and I can't see the coin true center. Yummy. Joanna responds by saying, I've got the dark milk, delicious. Bruce hits back by saying, made with Frederick's cocoa from New Koforidia. And Joanna acknowledges that with the word indeed. Susan Murphy comes back to say, what a privilege. Bruce then says, thank you for giving me the opportunity to take part in this wonderful ceremony on this special day, a huge privilege. Ms. Nana, I love the ceremony, especially the chant. Dembo, God bless Ghana, happy Independence Day. Isaac says, we here from Takwa Bremang are happy to be part of this celebration. Happy Independence Day, Ghana. I echo that. Happy Independence Day to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, Nanesi. I do apologize. We should have been coming to the very end of the session now. At this point, I briefly want to say, Ed, if you're ready to share the slides, we'll just run through as quick as we can. It was also an opportunity for us to update you on what we have been doing, where we are, and where we are going. About a year ago, we told a story called Chocolate Has a Name. From the story, we decided as a group, as a collective, as a tribe, to pilot for the first time on African soil this project where children will go to school, learn English, maths, and science, and for the first time, learn cocoa processing and its value addition. This was really important because in an ever-changing climate, we know that when farmers are able to put value on their produce, it helps them to mitigate and adapt. But while there were so many programs focusing and tailored to the farmer, we wanted to tell a new story where children will most importantly be able to answer the question, what happens to our beans when they leave this farm? And Ed, if you can go on to what we have been doing, I think slide number 7. So we came up, if you could put it on slideshow. We had our vision, our mission. We essentially wanted to create an equitable economy for cocoa growing communities using their own produce. For the child in the cocoa growing community, we wanted to answer the question, what happens to your beans after they leave the farm? Briefly, I'm going to ask if Joanna, you are available. You will tell us how we have been raising funds and what we have done within the period. Joanna,
yes.
If you're ready.
Yes, indeed. So what we did, we've had 2 fundraisers so far. The first crowdfunder that was launched this time last year, we raised £2,040 from 64 people who donated to that one. Second crowdfunder, which we launched in May, that raised 2,257 from 34 participants, but that's actually still open. So if anybody does want to continue contributing towards crowdfunder, that we will be very grateful for that. We had two major donations, one from the Fig Tree, which we've already mentioned. Our friend Bruce Crowther made a big donation, and also eBay made a really big donation as well. My thanks for the people that supported me. So last May, June time, I walked 91 miles in 6 days for the on the Fair Trade Way, which runs from Garstang up to Keswick. So I need to thank Carol, Isabel, Ruth, Barbara and Bernadette, who all supported me on the walk. This is Graham. Graham worked with Bruce back in 2012 to design the route. And here we're seen at Thirlmere, just in between the RAF jets flying overhead. So we had a fantastic time, and all the way we were promoting Ghana, promoting Chocolate Has a Name, promoting fair trade, and talking to people and encouraging them to give to the crowdfunder. So thanks so much to everybody who supported me in that. And the Seroptimists, most of the people who put me up with Seroptimists, and includes a couple of the people I know are on the call today. So thank you so much to Northwest Seroptimists, in particular the Grey Jobber Sands group, who've been absolutely fantastic, supporting me and helping me and the programme become part of something that the Seroptimists are really keen to support. We got a couple of articles in the Keswick Reminder, which is a local paper up in Keswick. So I have Joe and Bernadette from Keswick Fair Trade to thank for that. And then when in July, we decided to walk the 50-mile round trip, which was around Bradford, and we culminated in a Chocolate Has a Name tea party. Now, tea, as most of the Ghanaians on this call will know, it means something different in Ghana to what it means in the UK. So tea is a chocolate-based drink in Ghana. And so we invited the Ghana Union in Bradford and the local community to come and join us at St James's Church in Thornton. And they helped us raise money and raise awareness. And this is the group, including Bruce and Rita and Cheryl and Nanesi, Adele, and the people from the Ghana Union. So really fantastic to be able to spread the word for them. In total, we've raised just over £7,500, which means that we're just under £2,000 short of where we wanted to be. We've got plenty of time to do that, and we are delighted with the work that we've done already with the school, and we're going to continue to do more. As I said, we've only spent about half of the money, so we've got plenty to go at, but any more donations that you're prepared to make to us, we can really make lives better for the children in Tarka Bremen, and the farmers who will learn how to make chocolate and make chocolate, as Mwintombo was saying, chocolate has to be something that everybody in Ghana feels a connection to and understands how to make more with what they already have. So absolutely brilliant, and thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you very much indeed, Joanna. A lot of the work Joanna did was in engaging with stakeholders, but it did not end there. We also needed to tell the story and connect with children. Ed, I'm going to ask you to go back on the slide. Yes, go back back again, and then Nanesi will briefly run us through some of the work we have done with our children. So Nanesi, when you're ready, what happened with engaging with communities and school?
Okay. When we thought of Chocolate Has a Name, it was important for us to engage with the British child. In this country, it's estimated that each year about 80 to 90 million Easter eggs are eaten, and most of these are enjoyed by children. To do this, we went into schools and engaged with children using diverse creative modalities. Quite central to this is connecting the children here to children in the cocoa growing communities. It was a great learning opportunity for the children, as well as ourselves as creative practitioners. They really enjoyed the sessions, And it was important for them also to question fairness. What is fair, and how do we ensure fairness for children in cocoa growing communities? So the teachers then, we worked with teachers. They accepted and liked our approach in using chocolate as a pedagogy in exploring climate change, climate justice, racism, and colonialism. It was also an opportunity for the children, alongside their teachers, to take part in the Chocolate Has a Name pledge. Special thanks to Liz and Hannah from Leeds DEC and Codec, who supported us immensely in putting together our lesson plans. Chocolate Has a Name workshops were also replicated in school assemblies in Halifax, Preston, Leeds, the Eco Conference, and the Fair Trade Lancashire event. In total, we delivered to over 372 pupils. This year, we're happy to have introduced for the first time the Kokwasi bear. It's not a play toy, but a memorabilia, you could say, that the schools acquire from us at the end of our workshops to ensure the continuity of conversations we have with the children. We're happy to engage in your schools or communities where children are involved. We're pleased to be taking part in the Huddersfield Literature Festival, where we will be hosting a storytelling session for the community. Then we come to cocoa mindfulness with issues in your tissues. Cocoa mindfulness was about creating a space to use cocoa for our well-being, combining different well-being techniques using different cocoa products. These were cocoa nibs for mindful breathing, cocoa butter for hand reflexology, a tiny bar of chocolate for mindful eating. We were able to successfully try this with 2 cohorts, the Iroko Storytelling and Partners in Huddersfield and the Holistic Women's Wellbeing Group in Southwark. Very many thanks to them as well. This year, we're happy to introduce the very best kept secret in infusion tea, cocoa tea, which is made from the roasted husk of the cocoa beans. Prior to our discovery of this tea, the cocoa husk would normally be used as mulch or considered as waste. As part of our practicing a secular economy, we now are able to enjoy the husk as a flavonoid-rich tea. We look forward to engaging with your schools and community because chocolate has a name. Thank you.
Thank you, Nanesi. But that was not all. We wanted to explore and understand chocolate and cocoa and everything that had got to do with it. And so one day we woke up and said, what if we could do something with an empty sack of cocoa? Judith, over to you.
Hi, everybody. Happy Independence Day. So what we did, or what I did on my part, was to think about the ways in which we could add value or reuse some of what we would call waste from the cocoa farms. So we went on a journey of creating cocoa bags from these. So what we have here is what would usually be known as the cocoa waste. So these are cocoa sacks in which the cocoa, after being dried and processed on the farms, the cocoa beans come in these. So we took this and we went to Ghana's hub for secondhand leather, and we created this gorgeous bag that we have on screen. So everything is everything is reused, everything is recycled or upcycled. And we made sure that it looks fashionable as well. And if you could keep scrolling through. Yeah, so these are the tote bags. So inside the bag, we used a flour bag. So in Ghana, we sell our flour in like a fabric sort of material. So we went back to the recycle guys. Most people who make flour bread, they tend to throw this away. So we took them and we found an incredible use for them. They keep everything waterproof. You're able to store your bags. We have received incredible feedback from these bags. Because of time, I would not go through all that. But yeah, so over to you, Adele.
Thank you so much. Yes, so the bags are made from, we don't say minimal waste. We make the bags from waste, and everybody who's made a purchase has come back with incredible feedback. It was for us an opportunity to test the market, and we are doing this purely on pre-order basis. By doing this, as Judith said, we've been able to give two people in Ghana some kind of sessional and employment. So we are really key when we say that chocolate has a name, and these are the little mini steps we are taking to mitigate and adapt in an ever-changing climate. But we continue to explore cocoa. We continue to explore what it means to us. This heritage won for us through the blood and toil of our fathers. Ed, next, please. And so sometime last year, I also got commissioned for the first time to do my art piece, inspired by the world's #1 heritage building, not too far from me in Halifax, the Peace Hall. And I did this piece inspired by the Peace Hall, which we called the Beans Hall. And somewhere in Leicester Library, you will find this artwork where real cocoa nibs, cocoa husk, coffee, and was used in making this art piece, and burlap as well, to tell the cocoa story and bring in, as always we say, that much needed nuance in the stories we tell in this country. We didn't stop there. We got even more creative. Last December at Next, for the first time, we will make a piece of jewelry from cocoa beans. And it was us getting in touch with local artisans in Ghana, telling our story and see how we could incorporate cocoa beans into making jewelry. Ed, next slide. And I've got my cocoa beans bracelet on today. If you can see, these are actually made from cocoa beans, the not so premium ones that are quite often rejected. Ed, the next slide, please. Have I lost him? Yeah. So we made some cocoa jewelry from the beans as well. A lovely set of earrings and bracelet. I think we've lost Ed. Meanwhile, I will go back to Judith, who went to Takrabrema not long ago. We've been able to do 2 shipments from the UK to Ghana. And these were things that we knew were going to be difficult. Thank you, Ed. Can you go back up? Yes, so these are the jewelry I was talking about. So a lovely pair of earrings, and then the bracelet as well. And so this is the many avenues and the many ways in which we were determined to raise money. Next slide, please. So till date, as of 2 days ago, this is how much we have raised, a little over 7,000, as Joanna said. We've spent a little over 3,000, and this is what we have left, and this is what is remaining. So please do well to donate to our crowdfunder, engage us in your spaces, to tell a story, to have a workshop, to do a bracelet, buy our bags, and all of those proceeds will go to support the project. But Judith has also been to Takrabrema, and she will share briefly what is happening over there in terms of the progress we've made with the project. So Judith, over to you.
Yeah, so Takrabrema it's our project site, our pilot site. We chose Takrabrema because of its interaction with the community. And we believe that it was an avenue for us to greatly impact the community. So a few weeks ago, I made the journey to Takrabrema. It is remote. It is so remote that in the 24-hour period I was there, I had no access to network. So I couldn't call out. I'd have to climb a few hills just to make those phone calls. And I thought, well, my world knows I'm okay. So I was just going to stay there without network. So Eddie, if you could give me the next screen.
No, Judith, go on. Okay.
Well, okay. So so Takwa Breman, the school is a girls' school. Only girls are in the school. It is run by Coco 360. So this is me with a few of the girls. It goes from class 1. No, I think they have a preschool,
Yeah.
and then all the way to year 6. So we have chosen one of the rooms. They've donated one of their classrooms to us, which is going to be used as a site for this chocolate lab, essentially. So what we're doing is that we are fitting the room and finishing it. The first shipment of like Adele outlined of the grinders and blenders and things that were bought to help the children process the chocolate have been received. So we envision that in the next month, that room will be ready, and the children will have the opportunity to make the chocolates for the first time, of adding value to the cocoa that their parents grow. Over to you, Adele.
Thank you. So this is the room, and the next slide will show the wet grinders. The next one will show the wet grinders that we bought and sent to the school, and they're looking forward to make their first bar of chocolate. Thank you very much indeed. It was not only about making chocolate. We wanted the children to come to a place where they also have an intimate relationship with cocoa and what it means if you enter a village, and about 95% of the children in that school have their parents as cocoa farmers, or possibly 100%. So it was about bringing cocoa to be part of their everyday learning experiences, knowing about the history, the politics, the economics of cocoa. We hope that by doing so, we'll be able to change the language. If you gave a child a cup of hot chocolate anywhere in Ghana or in a cocoa growing community or village, they will say tea, not hot chocolate or not cocoa drink. That is not even irrational. That is deeply historical and very structural, a system that was carefully designed so that farmers remain growers and consumers ever remain consumers. But these are interesting times, and we change that because chocolate has a name. So this is where we've come from, this is where we are at, and this is where we hope to be. But we cannot do it without your support. We cannot do it without your help. So please get in touch, tell us, share your ideas. Let us know how you want us to engage with you. Why? Because chocolate has a name. Briefly, I also want to acknowledge the presence of Takwa Breman. As Judith said, it's really difficult to access internet at Takwa Breman. So I know they've been nipping in and out, but if they're still with us, I will quickly hand over and ask them to share their thoughts on the pod breaking ceremony and the progress we've made by far. Happy Independence Day! Na Sunday, yeah, to Elsa after if you are for our for any school for Mabeka ya home was Takwa Breman. Mammy, Sunny, I won't send it to the brain, a coast echo for no, SI, yes, they will be for walk on that would be asked to be a while way too. And the Sunday, I never didn't found with you know, I am to say, yeah, Dico, who found with you, I'm a Ghana for any if you are going now. And the best say, also, a Santa Crazy of a from Castro Mount for now, what say I'm a mount for, and so ADD as we have to. And yet, me, Danny, I'm a more, I was a cover mine. Yes, yeah, that's it. That's any one in the seminal who throw deep and I say a potato sour here and I say a potato with the year. Yet if the thing and the echo. And the another young see as some mamma will be say the slamo of Cojo Bower here and I say the two with the year. If you would die with your 4 years ago,
ye bo koko na ne atamo bia ye de dance ye say ye di koko no na ye frame fantin ye di koko no na ye frame ya komuti ye di koko no na ye frame ye ahunya bi ayenya enti samre ni kuma chire nsa akasa tafa brema for anya mo ma ye frame ye Yemra. Miss Philippa, thank you. Miss Morrison, I can see some of the pupils with us, and I want to say thank you for this brilliant opportunity. Quite briefly, we want to ask the pupils how they are feeling about the project, their expectation, the excitement meeting us today, and knowing that we haven't come to make empty promises. We're working tirelessly to make sure that it comes to fruition. We want to ask them if they've got anything to share with the community this afternoon.
We are so much as
we can hear you.
My name is Andana. My name is Andana. I am in basic 6. We are so much excited that he said teach us how to fix a chocolate. So we are waiting for to teach us.
We are excited. Please go ahead.
Are you hearing us?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. My name is Monica. We are so very happy to hear about the cocoa chocolate. So we are hoping on you to come and teach us how to make it. We have seen that the machines have come. So we are hoping on you to come and celebrate the tea party with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. With the child at Taco says we have seen that the machine has come. The last thing we want to do is to disappoint them for the machine to be a machine that was stored in a museum. We want to be sure that they are able to use the machine. When the machine comes, it has to be used. Thank you so much, Ms. Morrison. Any last words before we leave Taco Any last words to the community, Ms. Morrison?
Well, we are so happy that you've given us the privilege to join you from Takwa Bremai. We actually brought our cocoa for the breaking of the pot. Yes, we brought our cocoa and we're waiting for you to call us so we can also break it together and then take it. So we are happy that you have given us the privilege to be on this platform. Yes, so we are hoping that you will come soon, very, very soon, so our girls can start working on the chocolate.
Thank you. It's not late. We can always bring the cocoa pot. On this note, I wish to say, if you know anybody at World Cocoa Foundation, if you know anybody who's making chocolate or talking about cocoa and is not breaking the pot, tell them it's an absolute sacrilege. They can send us an email at africanua@gmail.com. We will bring all the tribesmen and women from Takwa Bremai and beyond. They should beware. Our internet is not really the best. Nonetheless, we shall come and break forth with the community. Thank you very much indeed. I do apologize, it's gone over time. We shall quickly go back into Accra, take reflections from Professor Crab, and our village will come to a close. Over to you, Professor Crab, if you can hear me. We are asking you to share your reflections on this afternoon's engagement. Thank you.
Oh, hello, Adele. And everybody, happy Independence Day. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Hello, thank you.
Okay. I'm happy to observe this. I've been listening to you since you started. I think it's a good program. I think it's a novel thing for an African, a Ghanaian woman to lead. I think it's honorable. And looking at what you have done so far and the report that has been given so far, I think there's so much you can do. And I just as I told, I went to Bremen, Takwa Bremen with Judith, and I met the girls. You know, I grew up in the Western region, in a small village called Ateku. And my father owned a cocoa farm there. You know, growing up there with a lot of laborers, I didn't know anything or had any idea of the link between cocoa and chocolate. My father always did different types of cocoa drink. Like, you know, these days you don't even find some here. Balova, then the Bonvita that we know, the Milo, and so many other cocoa products that we were drinking and eating chocolate in the house. But they were very expensive. And, you know, I didn't have any clue as to whether cocoa had something to do with the cocoa drink we were drinking, nor the chocolate we were eating. So when I heard of cocoa, chocolate had a name, I was thinking that cocoa would be, the name would be cocoa had a name, because, you know, if you produce products from cocoa and you don't give it cocoa names, then growing up, you will never link it to cocoa. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying.
Really?
The names that they give to the product, like the chocolate drinks, had nothing to do with cocoa. These days, you see chocolate spread, cocoa powder, and all those things. So it will be very difficult for somebody going in a village like Takwa Bremen to link cocoa to Milo or Bonvita, which are in the market, okay? Because if you can't read to know the ingredients made from this product, you will not link it to cocoa. So I don't know where the name chocolate came from, but you know, everything is about, instead of cocoa drink, is chocolate drink. So it takes the name cocoa that the farmers are producing from the product that comes from cocoa. So that's my observation. And I think that going to Bremen, Takwa Bremen, gave me an insight as to what you are trying to do. I think it's a noble thing. And once the project takes off, I believe that people will be very happy, because when we went there, they were introducing Judith as Nkofona Omode cocoa beba, Omode chocolate beba ahano. You see, so it's like everybody in the village knows that a group are coming to produce chocolate in the village, and they all gathered and they were surrounding us to just give us fans, and that's I think very nice to observe. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Indeed. Thank you for sharing these really, really poignant observations. And it's incredible you say, why don't we call it cocoa drink? And this is why we tell the story, so that the language might change. Chocolate has come from the spiritual home of cocoa, and they will make the name sound something like chocolate. If you joined in last couple of weeks, Leonard was here to talk about how Ghana got its cocoa, and chocolate has come from that name, was derived from how the ancient Mayans will call the sacred food item. And so if it finds its way into Ghana after 130 years, we want to own that script and change that narrative. Maybe in Ghana, we want to call it cocoa drink, cocoa butter, cocoa spread. And this is how it begins when children in Takwa Bremen are able to answer the question, what happens to our beans after it leaves our farm? Thank you very much indeed, everyone. I do apologize for this massive delay, a whole half an hour. We are a people constantly moving against the gradient. Time and internet was not on our side. but we cannot thank you enough for your patience, for sticking and staying with us. So once I was young, but now I am old. And once too many times I've been told, he who brings cola brings life. But today I say she who brings cocoa brings health and wealth and well-being. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for coming to Breakport with us. God bless. Bye for now. Dembo, if you're here, you can play for some 5 minutes. We will just fraternize in the chat, and the session has come to an end. Thank you all very much indeed. Bye for now.
Sempi, sempi, sampalala, sempi.
Welcome, do we still have Adam with us?
No, Adam actually have left. No, he's no longer here.
Having a point, that's fine. We were going to ask them to play the Ghana national anthem. That's fine. Dembo will play his kora, and we will be here for the next 5 minutes or so. We do apologize for the delay. Happy Independence Day all. Bye for now.